All right, so this time we're going to talk about data exchange connector for Autodesk Revit. So if you go to this link, you will be able to download the data exchange connector for Autodesk Revit. So this version will cater Revit 2024, 25, and 26. Okay, so once you install this and you go to your Revit, you will be able to go to the collaborate and then see here data exchange. Okay, so we are going to explore the data exchange here in Revit 2026. So as you can see, the model that I'm using right now, it's just the sample file. Okay, so this is just the sample file. If you go to the File tab, you go to Open, and then you go to Sample Files, you'll be able to see there the Snowdon. So the one that I'm using right now is Snowdon Towers Sample Structural. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to integrate this model to Power BI for data analysis or for visualization. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do. All right, so just make sure you install that add-ins, and also make sure you have the Power BI for desktop. So as you can see, I have here the Power BI for my desktop. Okay, so I'm just going to close this one. So I'm not going to save this. So I'm going to show you step by step on how to integrate your Revit model for visualization, data analysis using Power BI. Okay, so the first thing that we will be doing, so you just need to set up your 3D view. Okay, so I have here my main project that has the architectural, mechanical, and structure as a link model. So they are just a link model. For this one, I'm going to use the structure. Okay, so to start, so I just need to select here data exchange. Okay, so just click that one, and then we are going to create a data exchange. That's it. So right now I have mechanical. So this time I'm going to create a structure. So I'm going to select create data exchange, and then you put a name here, and then after that you specify where you want to save your data exchange file. Okay, and then the 3D view that I will be using here is my current view, that one, structure, and then I'm not going to change any other settings here. Okay, and then after that I'm going to select here create data exchange. Okay, so let us just finish this one. Let's just wait, or you can forward it. All right, so there you go. It's now finished. So as you can see, I now have here my structure version 1. So if we are going to click the 3 dots here, so there are options here wherein you can update the model, you can select elements, you can delete, and then you can also view on web. Okay, so the location of the file where I have saved this project is I save it on my Autodesk docs. So make sure you save it on your ACC. Okay, Autodesk docs. So if I'm going to select here view on web, so let me click that one. So here's my model. Okay, let's just wait. All right, so that's my data exchange file. All right, so it's now here on my ACC. So actually the one that I'm using is BIM 360 for this one. Okay, so after you finish converting your model to a data exchange, so you can view that on your ACC or BIM 360. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to open my Power BI. So let me select Power BI desktop. Okay, and then we are going to create a blank report. So I'm going to select blank report, And then after that, you select here get data. Just click that one. And then just select here blank query. Oh, not that one, sorry. So let me just select not now. Okay, you select here use sample data. Okay, so just click that one. Okay, so now the next thing that we will be doing here is we are now going to open the Power BI for desktop. So I'm going to select this icon here. So that's the Power BI desktop. And then we are going to create a new blank report. So just click blank report, just click that one. And then after that, click get data. Okay, this icon, just click that one. And then you just need to type here because we need to locate the add-in that we have installed. So you just type power. Okay, and then you will now see here Autodesk data connector for Power BI. So that's the icon there. So just click that and then select connect here, or just simply double click that. Okay, so let's just wait, and then you will now see here. Now for the source here, you just need to select data exchange. Okay, and then if you know the URL of your ACC for the location of your data exchange, you can just paste it here. Okay, so if it is not, that's fine because this is just an optional, but definitely it will help you to locate your data exchange if you have the URL. And then you can also specify here the unit length, and then you can also specify here if you want to have a filter. So these are all optional. Now, if this is your first time that you will be using the Autodesk data connector, the window will ask you to sign in on your ACC or BIM 360. You just need to sign on. Okay, so after you sign on, you will be able to select the source, data exchange, and then after that, just select OK. All right, and then I'm going to locate now where I have saved my file. So let me just go to my folder, sample model, Snowdon, and the structure. So that's the one that I would like to load. So just check the box, and then after that, just select here load. And that's it. So let us just wait. And then we will be doing some setting up. So as you can see here on my right side, so there's the visualization. These are the graph, the tools that we can use for the visualization of our model. Okay, so let us just wait until this one finish. Okay, so it's now finished. And as you can see here on my right side, so there's the data. So by the way, you can expand your filter there. You can also hide it. So same with your visualization and same with your data. So we have data, visualization, and filters. Okay, like that. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to click this button first, get more visual, because we want to put here our Revit model, right? Okay, so you click the three dots, and then after that, import a visual file or import a visual from a file. So just click that one, and then you just need to locate the location where you have saved your Power BI desktop folder. So in my case, this one is saved on my user. Okay, so that's the location. And then you just need to look for your Autodesk data connector for Power BI. So this is the one that you are going to use for your Revit visualization. So just select that one, and then after that, I'm going to select open. Okay, so if you want to locate that, if I'm not mistaken, you can find that on your documents. And then after that, you look for your Power BI desktop, and then look for custom visuals. And then this is that one. Okay, so just select that one, and then after that, select here open. And then as you can see, it's now here. It says import successful. Okay, so the visual was successfully imported into this report. Just select OK. This is the one that we are talking about. Okay, so just click that, and then it will now be added here on our canvas. So as you can see, there's a built-in guide here. It says step 1, search for dot viewer in the data pane, which is this one. So here's our structure data exchange. So you can actually search from here one by one, but don't do that. It will take a lot of time. Just search it. It says here search for dot viewer. So just type dot viewer. Okay, so this is the one. Okay, so you just need to tick that one. So after you search it, let's read the other step here. Step 2, search for external element ID in the data pane and drag and drop the external element ID column into all the external element ID fields one by one. Okay, which is here. Okay, so if you see this portion here, so we have the viewer, and then we also have external element ID. We have 2 external element ID here, 1 and 2. So we are going to drag this data, this external element ID, to external element ID 1 and 2. Okay, so but first let us check this one to place it to our viewer. So let's check that one, and let's see now. So as you can see, it's being updated, and there's now our model. Really nice. So there's our model, and then as you can see, the navigation here, it's like the Autodesk navigation. So there's your first person. You can measure, you can explode your model if you want, and then you can also see the model browser, the properties and settings. Okay, so that's our viewer here. So it's now here. Now for the external element ID, so we need to search for external. Okay, so the next thing that we will be doing is we are going to drag as well our external element ID to external element ID 2. So we need to have one here and one here. So just drag this, put it there like that. Okay, there you go. Okay, so now the next thing that we will be doing is we are going to add a graph. Okay, so if you have time, you can explore the visualization graph that is available here. But for this exercise, I'm not going to use all of this. So I'm just going to use some of this. Okay, so make sure, because if you click this, and then if you select a graph here, it will override the settings here. So just make sure you just click on the white space here, on the blank space, so that it will deselect this graph that we have here. Okay, so make sure every time you are going to add a visualization or graph to your canvas, so make sure you click on the blank space so that it will not override the selected graph like this. Okay, so right now it's selected, so I'll just click outside. So now it's already deselected. So now I'm going to select pie chart. There you go. So it will now be added here. So now it says here, select or drag fields to populate this visual. So we want to add details for this pie chart. So we're going to add from here. So let's say what I want is I want to include here the REVIT category. Okay, so I'm going to type here category like that. So category, and then there's my REVIT category. So I'll just need to click that box. So it will now be added here. All right. Okay, so as you can see, it's still selected. So you can still filter that here. Okay, so you can filter that. You can click that drop down arrow. You see that's our REVIT category type ID. You can click the drop down there, and then let's say you don't want to show all of this here because there are some useless or nonsense category that we have here. So I do not want to show there the other elements like blank. So I'm going to select check all, and then I'm going to uncheck the blank. I want to uncheck space separation. I want to uncheck here anything that doesn't have anything to do with the structure. So I'm going to uncheck levels, uncheck paces, and views as well. There you go. And as you can see, it's now updated here. Okay, so now I'm going to add another data here. So I'm going to add the data to my values field. So here, I want to add the same as this one, the same data like this one, external element ID. Okay, so I want that to be added. Okay, so I'm going to search. I'm going to select my graph, and then I'll type here external again. All right, this one. So I'm going to put that here. Okay, so just check that. Okay, so right now it went to the details, but I want that to be placed on the value. So I'm going to drag that up here. And then as you can see, it's updated now, right? Okay, so now as you can see, our 3D here is not communicating properly to my 3D, right? It's not communicating properly. Okay, so I'm going to select this graph here, and then like what I have said earlier, so make sure that your external element ID 1 has the external element ID here. So I'm going to drag that and then put it here. There you go. So I now have external element ID for element ID 1 and element ID 2. Okay. So make sure you do that. So you have the structure viewer, and then you have the external element ID for external element ID 1 and external element ID 2, so that they are talking properly. So as you can see, if I click this now, it's now highlighting, right? So if I click this, see? Okay, I click this one. Okay, I click this. I click this. Okay, so I click this one. So it's updating, right? So I click that. And then I can also click here. Okay, so I can click here. I can also click here. Right, so I select the highlight the walls. All right. Okay, so now the next thing that I'm going to do here is I'm going to add another visualization graph here. Like I want to add a slicer. So I'm going to select slicer. So again, make sure you click on the blank canvas on the white space, and then you click another graph that you want. So I click this, and then there's my slicer. So again, I'm going to add fields here. So I want to use again the REVIT category. So I'm going to search for category, REVIT category. So I'm going to check that. So it will be placed here. Okay. So check. There you go. So it's now added here. Again, I'm going to select this slicer, and then I'm going to filter that. So there's the filter. So I'm going to check select all. So uncheck blank, space separation. We don't need that. Levels, paces, we don't need that. Views, yes. And what else? So that's it. Okay. All right. So I can also select from here. You see my graph here, my pie graph, it also updating. So if I select structural column here, it also updates. So it says structural column 54 pieces. Like that. Okay. All right. And then you can just click outside so that it will highlight again all the elements. Just click outside, or just uncheck this one, sorry. Click that, and there you go. And then just click outside. There you go. So you can also resize this. Click this window, and then you can resize it. Okay, and then I'll just put it here so you can play around. So as you can see, it's now working. So aside from that, let's say I want to add here a schedule. Okay, so I want to add a schedule. So there's a schedule here, or table. So I'm going to add a table. So let me click that one. All right, so there's a table. So I'll just put it here. Okay, and then what I want to do is I just want to create a table for my structural foundation. So let me try this one, structural foundation. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna select this table, and then I'm going to type here Revit category. I'm gonna use this again. So I'm gonna check that. It will be added here. So I'm gonna check. So it's now added. Okay, and then so there's my Revit category type. So I'm gonna select here, and then I'm going to check the filter. Okay, so for the filter, I want to show the structural column. So I said structural columns. I'm gonna select that, check, and then it should now be appearing here, which is not showing. Let me just add another data here. So let me select this, and then let me add another data like ID. Okay, so Revit element ID. So let me use that one. So check. So it's now there. Okay, so I'm gonna select structural column, and it's now updated here. Okay, so I can click here one by one if I want. So as you can see, it's now being updated. Okay, so if you do not want to have the structural column, you can always select that table, and then you can always filter that. So there's the filter. So let's say what I want instead of the structural column. So what I want is the floor. So just select the floor, and it's now updated. And then I also want to include here the area. So I'm going to type here again the data. So I'm going to type area. So I'm going to select this one, summation area. So just check that one, and it will now be added here. Okay, so let me just resize that. Okay, so you can click, and then it highlights the floor. Okay, so if you have more time, you can always explore this visual here. Okay, so basically that's how you integrate your Revit model in Power BI using the add-ins data exchange. All right, so hopefully you learned something from this video. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.